Hello friends, welcome to Abhinav Goswami Law classes. So friends, in this video we are going to continue with our discussion on confessions and we will cover section 25 and section 26 of Indian Evidence Act. Both of these sections discusses and involves police officers. So it becomes very interesting to know what is the status of confessions as far as police officers are concerned. Okay, what they have to do in regard to that, right? So friends, if you have your Bear with you, please open section 25 of your Bear. I'm going to read from there. So friends, section 25 reads, very simple section, confession to police officer not to be proved. No confession made to a police officer shall be proved against a person accused of any offense. Okay, so very simple, very subtle section. So what the section is saying, it is providing you a clear blank rule with no exceptions, no clarifications, no explanations, no provisos. Simple section, simple rule that any confession made to a police officer is not relevant, can't be admitted into evidence. Very simple rule. So what we need to learn from section 25 is that first, that the prohibition is regard to confessions which are made to police officer, made to a police officer. So we need to understand what who is a police officer. So as far as the term police officer is concerned, it has not been defined by Indian Evidence Act. So as per the police regulations act, what are the requirements that are there, what are the uh, criteria that are there for a particular person to be called a police officer, has to be followed by courts of law. And second thing, you need to understand that police officer, the term police officer is not limited to those people who we see in no formal dresses and everything. No, it may include every person who is, even for temporary time, even temporarily, has been vested with powers of a police officer. So it is not necessary that the particular person must be appointed as a police officer, or he must be working, this must be his profession to be a police officer. Not necessary. So if a person has been vested for with powers of police officer even for a limited period of time, that person is also prohibited. Confession made to such a person are also prohibited. So these include undercover agents and other authorities, okay, other officials who are appointed under different acts, which who also have the powers of police officers. So you need to understand the broadness of this term police officer. The second important thing that you must learn about section 25 is it is talking about confession which are made to police officer. Okay, so the statements which are amounted to confession are directly made to a police officer. So it will not include confessions or statements which are made in the presence of police officers. Okay, so this is a very big demarcation that you always make, that as far as section 25 is concerned, it is prohibiting confessions only which are made to police officers. So the accused person and the police officers are talking here. Okay, so just because the police officer was present there, okay, will not prohibit that statement from amounting to confessions admissible in a court of law, right? This is what section 25 is all about. Okay, so no confession made to a police officer shall be proved as against a person accused of any offense. Okay, now come to section 26, which is quite broad, but it deals with essentially with the same issue. Section 26 provides confession by accused while in custody of police not to be proved against him. No confession made by any person while he is in custody of a police officer, unless it be made in the immediate presence of a magistrate, shall be proved as against such person. So section 26 also provides you a blank rule as section 25. Section 26 is saying that any confession or any statement which is amounting to confession will be admitted as evidence in a court of law if it is made while that person, the person who has made the confession, was in custody of a police officer. So here, two, three things that we need to understand. First, what is meant by custody of a police officer? Custody of a police officer does not necessarily means police station or jails or all those official places. This term custody of a police officer may also include the house of the accused himself. If police has a control over it, if he is being detained therein, so any place where the accused person is within the control of police officer, that amounts to custody of a police officer. And if any confession is made in that custody, that is not admissible as per section 26. Okay, so now you must be wondering that why section 25, we had already provided a blank rule that any confession made to a police officer is prohibited. Then why we are providing for section 26 and talking about police custody? So we need to understand, we need to make differentiate between them. As far as the section 26 is concerned, its purpose is not to prohibit confessions made to police officers. That is already covered by section 25. The purpose of section 26 is to prohibit confessions which are made to third persons, not to police officers, but third persons. But while this accused person was in the custody of police, so this may happen that police may force the accused person not to confess to themselves, but to a third person, to a media person, or to a friend, or any person. So the limitation that was there with section 25, that it was limited to confession made to police officer, has been removed to a large extent has been removed by section 26. It prohibits all statements, all confession made to any person, doesn't matter whether he was a police officer or not, a family member, whoever, doesn't make any difference. But if the accused person is in police custody at that point in time when he makes confession, it is not admissible. So the purview of section 26 is much broader in comparison to section 25. But there is one exception. Section 25 had no exception, a blank rule. But as far as section 26 is concerned, it has one exception. That one exception is that even though a person is in custody of police, if that confession is made, if that confession is made in the immediate presence of a magistrate, then that confession is admissible. So this happens that when a particular offense is committed by a particular person and that person is taken into custody, right? Then the area magistrate is, informed about that thing. So this may happen, the case may require, or the criminal procedure code may require that the magistrate to visit the accused person and record his statement, right? So such statements, if they are amounting to confessions, even though they are being given while that person is in police custody, they are admissible. So this is the one exception. Except for this one circumstance, all the confessions which are made in police custody to any person are prohibited, right? This is what section 26. Explanation is not very important. It simply defines what is meant by magistrate and what it includes and what not. So you can read it in your own time. But you must, right now, you must focus on the rule that I just told you. Okay. Section 25 is prohibiting what, friends? Prohibiting what? Any confession made to a police officer. Doesn't matter whether that person is a custody or not. No difference. If it is made to police officer, prohibited. Second, section 26 is saying that any confession made while in police custody is prohibited. Doesn't matter whether it was made to police officer or not. So more or less, they are interrelated and vice versa of each other. They are covering areas which were left out by the other. So very interesting interrelation between section 25 and section 26. So friends, I hope you understood what I was trying to say as far as section 25 and section 26 is concerned. So friends, if you want to appreciate my efforts, if you are understanding what I'm explaining here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And friends, if you want to connect with me on Telegram, and if you have any issues, any concerns, if you did not understand any video, you can join me on Telegram. The invitation link to my Telegram group is in the description to the video. Come on the group, write down your question, write down your query. I will try to satisfy you. I will try to explain it to you, clarify all of your doubts. So friends, until then, be happy friends, be safe. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.